Okay, good morning everyone. Welcome to Trade Setup, and we got the live stream for the 12th of October. Okay, as we all probably know by now, market was quite negative overnight. Not so much Europe. Europe wasn't too bad. We had the FTSE and the DAX were actually lower, closed lower, but it was more the US that closed quite a bit lower. We had the oil prices dropped off a bit. Um, Sorry, just getting an echo in here. Yep, so oil dropped off a bit as OPEC was discussing probably trying to come to a consensus of constraining output for the next 6 months. But I think traders are a bit skeptical about that, so we may see crude may or may not have reached a bit of a top, but we'll see how that goes. Also, US dollar was quite strong. That's kicked on a bit, so that's everyone's still geared up for rate rises towards the end of the year. But we'll see how that plays out, how the market sort of plays out. And it's a kick-off of the reporting season in the US, so I don't think it got off to a great start. That's why we had a bit of negativity into US equities. Let's just quick. We're actually down 35 points, so we've opened and just worked our way lower. Let's just take a quick look at the daily charts. This is the XJO. We'll get a bit of a look on the we'll take a look at a CFD of this, which pretty much structurally the same, just the price may be slightly different. But this here you can see the long term doesn't look too bad. Obviously we have a bit of a pullback here, maybe correcting that move down and working our way high. But this action here is it's not strong enough. It's more, sudden move higher, sharp correction, move higher, sharp correction, and so on. So it just have to see if this, over the longer term, if this builds a lower high. That's not too positive. We could be heading back down to test these levels, but again, everything we just got to see how that plays out in the future. Daily chart. We were speaking about this yesterday, potentially rolling over, but I'm guessing that was the same sort of idea here. Rolling over, potentially making that lower high, and then that just held up, and then eventually did roll over. But we could easily just pull back, correct a little bit, say 54, 53.50. Build that minor inside higher low, and then push up from there. We'll have to see how that goes. Let's look at we'll just quickly go over the ASX charts. So that's a daily chart. You can see a big red candle there. Not too positive at the moment. I think the key level is around that 54.19. We're sort of hitting a zone there at 54.42, 45, which we have traded through last night, popped through, but that's, we've opened and we're just trading above that level at the moment. That's, if that can hold up, that's not a bad sign, but I think we are going to get a bit of a correction of this leg up creek. We don't know how far. We could just go down to 54.19 or 20 zone, touch that, wash that out, and then just hold that level for a push back up, or we could, a deeper correction. What we don't really want to see is that a deep sharp correction lower, grind its way back up, and then build that lower high, because that sort of grinding action is not too positive. Yeah, and that's more conducive of a deeper correction or a deeper sell-off. But generally that daily trend is still holding. We're quite a way away from that support level, so there's some room to move in a correction mode quite easily. You can see we are actually overbought, so just whip down to a 30-minute chart there. And like I said before yesterday, just feel free to anyone that's got a question, whack it into chat. What I didn't say, there was an upgrade yesterday on the app, and anyone who's actually got it on the iPhone and Android, there should be on the top right corner, there's a little, like a TV, so that will take you directly to your YouTube application within your phone. And if you click on that, it'll take you to the TradeSetup YouTube channel, where you can view any stream. You can actually chat through that as well. Now, up until last night, it would just take you to the through a browser, the YouTube browser, where you couldn't actually join in the chat, but you could easily enough view it. So anyone that wants to whack in a question, feel free, put it in, and we'll answer as we go. Any charts, we're going to look at focus a bit more on the stocks, and we'll look towards the end of the day, just look at a few currencies, just to see what the Aussie's doing and how that could play out for tonight, give you some ideas of what to be watching. Alright, so back to the ASX 200 here. Yeah, that's the key level, 54.45. I'd expect it to hold up, and it looks like it is going to hold up today. I expect a more corrective action. We may come back down and retest. You don't know, and only got to really base yourself off your charts. Going against the trend, obviously, to buy against that trend is quite hard. Um, that sharp move down is quite hard, and you're probably going to get it. What you would want to see to go long is more correction higher, come back down, retest and hold. If we hold that directly at that level, that support at 54.35, or we come back down and retest like this blue one's showing, retest at 54.45, and that potentially that just means that any of these shorts had a chance to get out. It's rolled back over. They're expecting it to go back lower. It hasn't. It's hold up, so they may be exiting. Everyone's sort of buying into that. So that second retest is quite important. If that can hold, then we may be seeing higher levels, or this overall zone may hold. We'd have to see how that goes later on today. Alrighty, now let's just go through a few charts here. What we're looking at, actually, it was on here. One we quite like. It's got BWX. That was an alert, I think, the last few days, and actually did trigger going into the close yesterday. We did see that trigger at 5:04. And this has been a good alert for us in the past. It's not an old stock really. I think we've got all the data there. Yep. So it's pretty open just above the $2 when it back in end of last year, November, opened up. It's just ground its way high. So it's been some beautiful price action, building those higher lows. You know, this for instance, this is a beautiful. It's pushed up hard. It's corrected lower. You pop back up off $3 or roughly $3. Popped back up, tested back down, couldn't make it, retested those inside lower highs, come back down, took out the lows, and it's just struggled. So that kind of price action is fantastic. If you're looking on a daily chart, really nice price action to be buying into, at least taking a chance. You could have easily bought just above here, but if you're going hard right edge, so if that price action is right across the right hand side and you don't know what's coming, you could have bought on a break above there, but it is still stretched. It hasn't corrected a lot, so that second correction low and holding there, and especially holding above that low, really good price action. You could have got a nice little entry in here. Could have gone down to half an hour hourly charts intraday just to refine that entry and put your stops just below there, or even just at $3. A good little risk reward trade there and take it up to the highest. Well, it's obviously gone a lot higher than that, but if you could have entered around there and just ran it up, taken a partial fill, lock in some gains, and then just let it go. There's been a few, fairly good entries, similar type of entry around here, which, that style entry, and even beautiful just in here as well. I think we've been trading it. It's been a lot of it this year. I think we traded it from back here, so we've had this sort of price action gain there. Actually, it was way back here. I lied, right back in the start of 2016. So we've been active on this for quite a while. And then what we're looking at now is this. You've had this move up, and as you get towards the top end of a run up, you do tend to get it stretched. You do tend to get it because everyone's knowing what's going on. Everyone who wants to be long is long. Well, generally, that's the idea. So for new players, you need to either wash somebody out of the market, wash them out to get them back on the sidelines for more fuel to come back in and buy the market and hold it up. Now, if everyone that likes this is either they don't want to trade or they're in it, then there's no one left to put into the market, and it's just going to get stagnant up at the highs until somebody sells to take a profit, which what we actually saw here. It's a great little washout. It's taken a few levels with it, washed them out, it's come down to retested this sort of support level around here, this base through here. It's a 440. Actually, if we get up on we've got it here. It's washed out, tested that 430 zone, taken out a few trades, rebounded quite hard. You've got your first wave of buyers in here, quite excited about that move down to 430, bought it back up, and it's come back down and retested. Now that's fantastic. When we see something like that, you've got that big washout reaction, and then that push back down to retest that zone. It's pulled up short, which is quite good. It's come into oversold territory, so that everything for that to continue is just really working against it. So that's what we like to see. Got that pop out, take it a few of the previous day's highs, come back in, build that high low. Now we weren't looking at it in here. It would have been a beautiful little entry, say at that 470 zone, and you could really put your stops or your risk just below 448, 450, and then raise that up and push that up. We've got in here, so we've got the 504, and we're looking just hopefully that can just continue on. It could be more of a grind. We may see that bit of a pullback to test this support zone here, but we'll see how that goes. I sort of expecting this is a good little correction, That 480 zone's held, and we've pushed up off that, taken out this little intraday high. Sorry, this into a daily high, I guess, at that 502 I think zone. Taking that out, and then we should be. You'd expect just to work our way higher, something like this. We are in overbought, so that's sort of working against it. But the weekly chart is it's around 50%, so it's got a long way to go on the weekly chart. This could just hover, pull back, come back up, go back into overbought as the market's moving its way up. So we'll see how that plays out. All right, let's take a bit of a look at see what else we got here. This one here, VLA, really liked it, but the problem was it wasn't that great a volume coming into that move. If we just go, let's actually just go. So this again, great price action. If you go to the weekly, apart from these sharp moves, obviously I don't know, but I'm guessing it's on the back of news releases. Come back down again. What we see here is that contraction in price. Yeah, that's massive expansion. You don't, if you can get involved with buying down here, you wouldn't want to buy up here. You don't know, because even if you were looking at it around that 70-cent mark, that's gone pretty hard as it was. I mean, it did double. That's fantastic, but that risk reward when you're getting into these zones is not in your favor. But when you're getting down here, that price has contracted right down, come back down to the lows, built a higher low. In here, problem is there's not too good of entry. You sort of have to buy on this break of this candle here, if you can see that. It didn't come through. It's made that minor lower high, squeezed back in, so still contracting, made a high low here, and then when you get that breakthrough, it's probably about that 36.7 cent zone in here. That's good little entry. You've got a good risk reward there, risk below here, and away it goes. What we let's go back to the daily. So we've got this beautiful price action. You want to see something expanded up, contracted down, and once you start seeing a few failed lows, continuation lower. You didn't really see it in here. We've got lower high, lower low, and it's just popped straight back up with no failed lows before taking it out. But overall, we've got this kind of price action is building these major higher lows in here and again in here. It's a great little price action there. We were looking at it potentially to hold up at, above 90 cents and break out, get that type, this what we've just seen, break action, push higher through 95. We didn't get it, actually went down the other way, washed out the lows, washed out a few support levels, actually retested this, which is a key level, that low at 86 cents, 85 cents, touched that, washed that out, and that's when it was an oversold territory. So we sort of stopped watching it, one, because it didn't have the volume. I mean, it's got not bad, it's not actually, it's only done 172 grand at the moment, but it sort of lacked that volume for an alert. But really the price structure is really good. And then you got that little breakout that it's pushed back up, held 90, took out 95, and it's been it's probably about 10% since, I'd say. So that's quite good. If we take a look at some others we're keeping an eye on. AWC has been good. We were expecting that. If we go back in here, that on a longer term basis, fantastic. That sort of cup action, I guess you'd call it, along with that stochastics there, it's pushed down. You get to the lows, it's sort of ground its way higher, making it's divergence there if we've ever seen it. Lower lows, but the stochastics are building higher lows, these levels here, and then it's kicked up higher. What we've done is had a few tests to try to get through 120. It hasn't made it, and it's failing. You can see that definite fail, push down, took out the highs there, come back down to try to retest that zone, pulled up short, and the price, we can see that's contracting in, and it's building that higher low, say it's a 128. Fantastic price action there. So in context to this weekly trend, you've got that move, strong move down, strong move up. It's contracting overall, but you can still get something out of the trade easy up to 170.80. Problem is, for me, it was in overbought. You pushed above these levels, that's great, but we are in overbought. I'd rather see it come from a oversold level, push up to overbought, pull back, go to oversold, but hold highs. That's what you want to see. The price can't get lower, but it's been a fairly strong move. That's a good sign that anyone who's been short or was watching this, expecting the price to pull back to 130, waiting for it to come down to 130, it pulls up short, but it is in oversold. So it's starting to run out of steam on the sell side, and it is holding up. Buyers are stepping in quite early. That's what you want to see, and then that kick back up again. And you always want to buy when it's heading higher. Okay, no questions at the moment. All right, feel free, like I was saying yesterday, send through emails if you like. At support@tradesetup.com.au. Send them through any time of day. If you've got a chart that you'd like to have a look at, trade an idea, send it through, and if you don't mind, we'll put it up on the screen, or we'll get it up on the as a chart and just go through it, pick it apart, and see what it looks like. Sorry, I just got my coffee here, just morning coffee. All right, some others we've RAP, we had a bit of a ride up to there. We did quite well on that, but we missed that. It was a bit of a hard one to take that correction lower. I still think that has got the potential to continue, but you want to see a bit of contraction, just because that's a strong move up. Sellers are, profit takers coming. We've got some buyers stepping in a bit late, really, into that trend, and it has shot up quite hard. It's hard to see that just go straight up through 55 from here. Anything can happen, obviously, but you're trying to put the probability in your favour. What's your thoughts on LOM? Luca PA Diamond Limited. All right, we'll have a look at that one now. Actually, I'll just look at that one in 1 second, just to quickly look at this. Continue on this RAP. Now we've had that move up. Let's get it to a bigger chart actually. You can see that is nice price action. If you take in the context of the weekly chart, trying to buy up here, it's starting to get a bit hard. Like I said, anything's possible, but if you're getting in, you want to get in. Ideally, when you're trading, the idea is to get in when the outcome is unknown. We were discussing this yesterday, I think, with Anne. I think it was. We're discussing getting in when the outcome is unknown. So there's a lot more fuel sitting on the sidelines. Okay, ready to jump in. Structure looks good, price action looks good, jump in, and then you just got your probability on the side, see what happens from there. And then obviously you got to plan ahead, set up your targets, and away you go. At the moment, if you're looking at this outcome's pretty much the opposite. I think you've got to flip that around. It's getting more known. Obviously, everyone knows that trend's higher, and they're positioned accordingly. It has come off a good base at 2.5 cents, gone up to 50 cents. It's quite a good gain. So sitting on that, jumping into and especially see that weekly candle, that bang, it's shot up. I sort of expect a bit of this price action because we're coming off this base here on the weekly at 25 cents. That you've got that pop up inside correction here, high low build, and then taking out the highs at 47-48 cents, and then we probably have got a target up towards 60, but maybe that's got to correct a bit more. It could have a 2-stage, 3-stage correction, pop up, make a lower high, take out the to make lower lows, and then build a base and then go again. But at the moment, just buying right here is a bit hard. Why hasn't it worked? Okay, so that's a daily. If you take it into context, it's had some good legs up, beautiful price action too. Really nice. It has some nice trades. You can just this for instance, say starting off right at the start, this is right when it's unknown. So you got the initial strong push up, pull back, gone to oversold, held up, made those minor higher lows here, just trading it on a breakout there, even at 10 cents. Risk reward's fantastic. That's about 50% up to 15. It's come down, it's held, contracted. Like to see that. Held, popped up again, expanded up, contracted lower, and expanded up. Beautiful price action there. And at the moment, we've just got that sharp move up. I want to see more contraction if I'm willing to buy this over a period of time, just to wash out a few traders, put them back on the sidelines. Like we said, that's not an unknown market at the moment. That's pretty well known, trending higher. All right, Clement, let's look at. That's gone hard. My view on this is. I'd say it's more erratic. It's hard to see a nice clean setup in here. What I mean by erratic, it's more, it's contracted lower. It's this here, I guess that is held a higher low. Stochastics for me were on my side. And then if you just bought it, probably a bit hard. That's a strong day. Buying it on that breakout, even at just that push above that minor level at, highs at 19, buying at 20 cents. Anyway, okay, obviously that's paid off hell of a well. Then it's had that really deep correction back down, so it's pretty much washed out that whole move back up. You know, that move up, washed them all back out, come back down, and pretty much retest that 20, a touch above, and it's worked its way up. It's very gappy too, which is a hard, the hard stocks to trade. 500,000. The volume, actually, let's just take a quick look. That volume is there, so that's, it's really coming with some good volume there. Obviously, on that move in this zone, it's not good, not the best volume, but yeah, it's holding that higher low here. It is on a weekly. If we can just drill out on a weekly, it is holding high lows. Paul, I think it's more got to do with your YouTube. You can change the settings, quality of the setting. I just flick it over to 720p high def. It's a YouTube setting, so that should clear it up. It's on the bottom right of the screen. There should be like a little wheel, a settings wheel. Just click on that, and you should get 720. Anyway, so back to we've got LOM here, Diamond Company. So looking at that on a weekly basis, yeah, not bad, because you've had that strong push up 150. It's come back down. It's washed out all those lows, and then it's been sort of basing out for quite a while. It's tried to push lower in here back in 2013, held up, made that high low, popped out through the highs at 40 cents. That's not bad. It's come back, retested this zone in here around the 20 mark, and then we started to get some decent price action, and it's held above 30 cents, made another higher low. What I've noticing, even just on the weekly, it is washing out the lows quite a bit. This, if we can draw that up, I can't actually draw on these charts, but you can see this low here, it's washed it out here. Again, this is a low, it's popped up, washed it out, then shot up, maybe on the back of news, I don't know. Then it's made these sort of lows. They're all roughly the same price. Low 32.5, 32.5, washed it out to 31, 31.5. Only took it out by a cent, and then bang, off she went. I don't know if that's on the back of news, but it does tend to wash out a few levels before it goes. It's looking like that anyway. So if it's had some good news recently, got some today, has it? Record quality quarterly diamond production. Yeah, so personally, I think it's a bit overbought here. I wouldn't be buying it in here, but I'd certainly be, if you're long from somewhere in here, you're lucky enough to buy it on a breakthrough here on the back of the news as this level was holding up. Say below 40, you could easily squeeze your stop up to 45, lock in some gains, and just see what happens, see how it could go. If we can get this sort of run up, great. I mean, that's awesome. And then you just really kick it on, but really try to either take partial fills or take a partial, or just try to lock in when you get a chance. Anytime you get that push down, it builds a higher low. Like we've got one. It's really hard to see, I guess. Actually, you've got the high low here, come up, pull back, push. As soon as it takes out that high, you can lock in something there. It's come up, pull back. As soon as it's taken out, it's just taken out yesterday. Lock it in, say roughly around 46, and just see what happens. Because it is, like I said, it's an overbought. LNG, and welcome back. Let's just that's good. I don't know anything about it, but technically this sort of price action is quite good. Actually, let me just quickly see if I can get that on another chart. Sorry, this is another chart we're using here. It's going to miss today's action, but I don't think that's too important. LNG. Once it gets up there, I'll just alright. So this is LNG, what Anne was just mentioning there. No worries, Clement. I hope it helped. Okay, we've got this is the weekly chart of LNG. If we can just put in a few lines, I don't like that. We'll get those later on. So you can see, obviously, it's had, and this is again like what we want to see, that little push up, building that higher low. So you can see buyers, and this is when it's unknown, like we were discussing. Buyers are starting to step in at higher levels You get that push up, that pull back, contractors holding for a fair few weeks, and even this, I know it's very hard to see. Oh, I don't want to do that, do I? Just delete that. If we can just drill out here. Oh no, let's not do that. But you can see these high lows. It's pushing up, taking out the highs, intraday highs. Oh, sorry, intraday. Used to saying that. Come pull back, build that higher low, and then push back up again. And sooner or later, when that becomes known, you see these sharper moves, these strong moves up. You've got a nice strong green candle here, strong move up, rejected, and then obviously that's built, and then you can just see the buyers start stepping right in and really chasing that up. That's great price action, but this is where you want to be looking, and you want to be taking note of these higher lows that are building. You don't know what's going to happen. Obviously, it could just grind us up, then bang, roll over, but you're putting yourself in with some good risk reward trading, I guess you could call it. Great risk reward trades, and then when the herd starts jumping in, that's what you want to be seeing, that herd coming in, pushing the market higher, and then selling to them basically. And what we're seeing now, if I can just, it's a bit of the same price action. You're getting, it's early stages obviously. We'll get down to a daily. We'll just contract this in a bit. You've had that, what I like to see, so this is probably going to get a bit messy. Data series, sorry, we can just add in a bit. So what you can see, it's come down. You don't know when that's going to stop. Once you start seeing those sharp moves, like you get a strong move here, some days, you look at those candles, strong move down, strong, it's going to get to overextended, obviously, bought back up, whether that's profit taken on the short side, people stepping in thinking it's a great buy, obviously wrong, it's kept going lower. Once you see those candles, it's like the volatility is coming out of the market, which is always really good. And then that market's really just contracting in those days. The ranges are getting quite small. And what we're seeing is that level here, I think it's at 40, 46. We've got that zone in here. If we can just drill out, that's the zone in there, 46. You made that low. You've had a good strong day here. Okay, that's something to really take note of. And then you've ground your way higher. Obviously, that's a good volatile day. Great, not decent. Volume came in on that day. Pushed it back up to the highs, found a bit of resistance, worked its way lower. But what it's done there is build that higher low. That's really nice if we can get it in here. And you will see it later on again. That's just about what, 51. It's coming. Obviously, it's got some good news. If you were going to take a bit of a punt, so you've had that low, failed low. When you see a failed low, it started at some really early signs that trend down, which you can see is starting to run out of steam. Good little entry could have been, really, is that break. You don't know, obviously, all good in hindsight. Break of 60, 61 cents. You got really tight risk in there. I mean, if you wanted to put it down below 49, 50, great. You could have had it really tight in there. You don't know what's going to happen, obviously. They could have spiked up, come straight back down, retested this, taken you out in the meantime, and then gone. But in hindsight, it has, what you've seen previously, that price action is quite solid. So you've seen this low hold, can't get down, so anyone that's sort of shorting it in there, or any buyers that are waiting to step in, that's a good sign. Start taking out these recent highs, previous days highs, really good. Come up, pull back, it's just struggled, obviously, and if you just go to take a chance, buy on the break, away she goes. And I think what we could be seeing, we've had that strong push up, good sign. So obviously something's happened there, don't know. Come back down and retested 50 cents. So when you get a retest and it's holding, and you know it's holding because it's bounced off strong here, it's made another higher low in here, taking out that little high there, not a bad sign. So maybe you get a bit of this, similar price action, grind higher, then bang, something comes out, pushes it up. I think as soon as it gets above 68, which it looks like it's going to do soon, and these high lows hold, even in here, if you get this type of level holding 68, actually doesn't look too bad really. Now I'm starting to look at it a bit stronger. I think buying through 68, tight risk in here. Yeah, 60, 8 cent risk. Pops through that high. I think that's going to wash out quite a few more traders, as in anyone that's been watching that, wanting to buy it, really kicking themselves because they missed out. It's ground. They've been very patient. You got a high low build, another high low. As soon as it gets through there, that's a confirmed high low. Bang, off she goes. I think that's going to take out a few, get a few traders on board. for that push up. Who knows where it's going to go, but really you've got a target up near 90, probably this previous level. Only an earlier target where that could, if we just draw those in, target here, and then really you got to look up to here. You know, $1.29. That's a good payoff. It's 100%. You know, there's potential for that to really go if this is a major longer term higher low, which that retest there, push here, tried to go, failed to get back through there, retested it here. You know, there's some really good signs adding up, sorry. Hope that helps, Ed. I hope that was a bit informative. If there's anything else anyone just want to whack up at an idea, feel free. Let's just see what a few things are doing. We're big on this one. I mean, the structure could be nicer. This is MVP, medical developments. If you're following the alerts, we've been alerting this a bit, but I think technically, I mean, that was a great level down there, but it's sort of against what we like to see. We like to see that, you know, this push up here and that sort of curving action to buy through here was great. We didn't alert it, obviously, but it is waiting for news in the US, out of the US, of the FDA approval. Now, if they go and approve their drug, I can't remember what it's called. Penthrox, I think it's called Penthrox. Yep, they've already got it approved in a few countries in Europe and Canada. You know, for sales in there. Now, if they get the US FDA approve it, bang, you'd think that was going to just take off, and you can see that it's really contracted. It's had some strong moves. Obviously, there's a lot of people that's known about it, and this area is probably just flushing out a few of those long positions, taking profit, getting impatient, whatever it may be. That washed through $5 if you go back to the daily. And that's a level here. That's pretty much the key holding up that last trend higher. It's ground higher, really. That's still the level holding it up, holding this overall longer term daily trend higher. You know, a lot of price action in there, a lot of, you know, touch down here. People who are boarded around this level probably getting a bit nervous. Push up, washed them out. They might have had stops just under there, not wanting to lose it. Anyone who probably hasn't been following the story, you know, and boarded in here, maybe just putting a stop under there, not willing to risk too much, washes them out. You know, pop back up above 5, holding that level, holding above 5. So technically, starting to really show some really good signs, some solid signs. So yeah, we're liking that, and it's purely on the back of getting this FDA approval through. You know, because the market in the US is obviously going to be massive for them. Yeah. So anything else? I just quickly checked if there's been an email. No, that's good. That's good. Just quickly checking a few things. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so obviously it's been holding ASX, holding these. Just go intraday. Yeah, big sell-off there, as you would have expected, taking out a few levels, but holding above that low at 54.40. Nice price action. So you can see how much of the how much work has happened on the open. Happens on the open. Sorry, getting oversold in the half-an-hour chart. So you're potentially looking for this 54.40 to hold up. Bit of a correction. So we'll see how that goes. Let's just finish it off. We'll have a quick look at that Aussie. If there's anything people just want to quickly look at, we're going to select harvest. What's the code for that, Tom? Tony, sorry. I could never quite remember. Probably get it while we're waiting. SHV. Select harvest. Let's take a quick look at that then. Yeah, that is longer term. Tony, we're looking at this one, select harvest now. That longer term, let's just drill right back. Start at the monthly and work our way in. You know, big run up here, pull back, pretty much down to where it started. You know, $1. Big run up to $13. Geez, it would have been nice to get on that one. On the monthly chart even, and then we've had a really steep correction. Yeah, that's really sharp move. I don't know what's happened over the last, say, through end of mid 2015 onwards, start of the year. Really got hammered there. So it's really just retested. That's a massive double top, really. It doesn't mean it can easily just, and that's probably why it started failing. And it's retested, starting to struggle. Bang, sellers have just stepped in. Anyone who's been buying it up here stepped in, got out. That's the move down there. Yeah, really just that was a key level. We had that one leg up here, pull back, built a minor base, a few inside levels here. You could have traded off. Had another strong run up. You can see the volatility, the actual expansion in the bars as you go higher. When you start seeing that, you're probably thinking it's getting towards the end of a trend. You're overbought territory. Late comers into the trade, buying it, thinking it's seeing this and thinking it's great. But I mean, again, this is not the unknown. Maybe if you're going to short sell, this could be the unknown, but not when you're buying it up at these levels. So you've had that steep correction, washed out this level here at $5, and on a weekly basis, that's more of a washout when you sort of move higher and it fails. It's in a minor higher low in here after retesting back up at 550. If we can go down, so this is yeah, it's 550 there. Pop down, retested it, a bit of a wash at that level, come back up to retest 550. So really that's a leg, that's sort of that zone holding this trend down. If that's going to continue, it should really roll over. Hasn't made a higher low on the daily, and it's starting to break higher. Tried to go higher here through this high at 750 and pull back. Now I mean we're in overbought territory here a bit. If it was to be a long, this could potentially be a good base, a major higher low in here at 550, and that would coincide with through this level straight through here. Actually, if I can quickly just get that up on another chart, I can draw those lines in. SHV, wasn't it? Okay, so we're talking about 550, that zone in there. So that breakout, it's retesting, so potentially this could easily be, it's not what I want, go away. Yeah, I don't mind that at all, really. You've had a good move. You found a high low here on the weekly, remember? A few washouts there, so that washout there, when you start getting the, taking out the lows, the breakout traders, or anyone who's putting the stops under there, hoping for the best, getting washed out. You washed out here with that move, comes back up, they're getting a bit nervous, they've bought it up here, say, getting in trouble, getting that washout, and then you've got this minor high low here. That doesn't mean too much, because this level, 550 was the important one, 560. Come back in, this is a good level, great little buying opportunity, because you're just assuming once you get that retest, that's a stronger move up. More buyers stepping in, obviously. There's a whole lot of sellers, or anyone that's been washed out there. A whole lot of buyers sitting on the sidelines, ready to go. Got that test back up here again, and even in here, great little buying opportunity. We know that now in hindsight, but when you're looking at it, so if you're looking at hard right edge like that, nothing wrong with that at all. Especially that daily candle, you're buying, you've got minimized risk, and away we go. So what we've seen, that's push up. Anyone who's missed potentially, that wants to get out and missed, they're buying in here, they got back towards break even, they're sick of it, sick of holding it, want to put their money somewhere else. Selling it, pushing it back down. Now what we're looking at, this is an important level, it's starting to hold up, great sign, really good sign, especially on the longer term. And then we've broken this contraction lower to retest 1, 2, 3 times, taking out these little highs at $5, $6 even, pushed up, and it's broken this downtrend. So potentially I would like to see if we can actually do it. Move up. A bit of contraction, and then go. That type of thing where it comes in, contracts, making that higher low again, and everyone who's maybe missed going long there is watching this price action like myself, not in there, thinking this looks good because we're breaking that downtrend here. We're sort of retesting that breakout zone, building that higher low, jumping in here for that push back up to at least $8, $7.90, and I mean there's a lot of levels that could be easily target up there. So no, looking good. All right, any more questions? If there's not, we better jump off. Like I said, we'll be doing this each morning. And now we have a new app that's just pushed out. If you go to the App Store, if you're on iPhone, if you've got an iPhone on Apple, go to the App Store and just download it. It may look a lot of, I think it should be okay now. I'll just check it actually. But yeah, download that. Let me just check. Yeah, download the new app. Same, I think it's on Android, Google Play. Download the new app, and you'll see anytime we've got the streaming, you can just go to the top right hand corner. You can hit the little TV and it'll take you to the YouTube channel. But the thing is, it opens up within the phone, the app within the phone, which means you can have a get into the chat and put questions in through your phone. Otherwise, when it goes through the browsers, you won't be able to chat. You'll just be able to watch. But you can always view it. It'll be on YouTube later on, so you can go and re-watch it and view it again. Paul Telstra, look, we'll quickly go over that if you like. I won't get up on this chart, but we'll just quickly have a look. So yeah, we'll look at Telstra, and then yeah, we'll call it a day. But any charts, yeah, feel free to send them in. To be honest, doesn't look that great. Technically, you're looking at a monthly chart. You've had a strong leg up. Monthly, we could potentially just be breaking through 5. It's not rough. It has come out of oversold, but it's struggled at 50%, and that could be, if it heads back into oversold on a monthly, it could easily get back down. It could take out quite a chunk, and that, in all fairness, that's not a bad. You've had this zone right back. I don't know if you can see the end of the chart, but it's right back in before 1999. It's had a lows around $3. This zone here is a retest. That's all it is, if we can see that. And then it's pushed up. And then what we're seeing now is just really just contraction. So we could just be seeing contraction. If $5 can't hold up, doesn't hold up, it isn't oversold on the weekly, and it isn't on daily. So there's a few things lining up for the buyers, but the price action is not there just yet. I mean, this move down has been fairly strong. It's corrected higher. Start taking it out. If it takes out 5, I think it's going to take out these lows at 495 and have a deeper correction, especially on the weekly. That price action is corrected higher. Higher lows, high highs, bang straight through that high low here at 525. Potentially it's trying to pop up. It could correct back up, make a major high low at 550 and come down, or it could just correct back up, retest up to this zone, build a major high low, and then go through 575 up to 650. But just by looking at that, it's pretty important level. It's right where it is at $5. If it gets through there, I think it's going to wash out quite a few traders. And the fact that it's actually, it's got this point here, pushed higher, and pulled back, retouched 5, and then just dropped off. Alright guys, we'll call it a day there. Yeah, thanks very much for joining, and remember we'll be on tomorrow, so just keep an eye out for the alert. You'll be able to join there, but you'll be able to jump on chat as well, so feel free to ask any questions, push them through on chat, or send through an email if you've got a chart. Even if you want to review a trade, if you're happy to pop it up to everyone, put a trade up, something you've done, and you even win, lose or draw, sometimes it can be very interesting to see someone else's opinion. I always enjoyed putting my trades up. I don't know if everyone knows Davin, when he was mentoring me, just putting my trades up there, and then him reviewing that. Even when I had lost, it's good just to see someone else's opinion, say that was not a bad entry, it just didn't work out. So yeah, feel free to send up some charts if you like, and then we'll just review those. Anyway, thanks very much for joining guys, and we'll speak to you again tomorrow. Enjoy.